A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Ritwika Gupta. In today's episode, we are diving into a conversation with Leela Palaces, Hotels and Resorts about the hospitality market, the importance of simplifying travel and how the brand captures the essence of India. To understand this and more, I'll be in conversation with Anuraag Bhatnagar, CEO, Leela Palaces, Hotels and Resorts. Anuraag, thank you so much for joining us today on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you, Ritwika. It's great to be here.
So tell us, how do you think the Leela as a brand encapsulates the essence of India, India's culture and identity?
I think firstly, starting with the name itself. The name itself and the fact that we encapture everything that stands about India. The location of our palaces, the services that we offer, the architecture, the design, the programming, the ceremonial rituals that we have, the core of our service design, which is Athithi Devo Bhava, which is service from the soul, the usage of our brand symbols and icons and IPs that we have created. Everything is to do with India. We signed up on Tishya, which we have created our own range of fragrance. We have launched Ojasya, which is our nutrition, wellness. We have Leela Palace Services, which is our own concept of hospitality from the heart. So it's going beyond the product into programming, into people, into service. Our ceremonial rituals that happen every evening in any Leela hotel at sunset, they all embrace everything which is true and authentic about India. And this is how we kind of represent the best of Indian luxury and warmth and graciousness to the world.
Sure. And, as India's cultural ambassador, how do you think the Leela has evolved, in sync with the nation's progress since its inception?
So, Ritika, today, thank you for that. Today Leela is, the brand is in 12 different locations. We have 5 amazingly good palace hotels. As Leela, as India's cultural ambassador, the brand has always been acknowledged as amongst the finest luxury brands in the world. In the last 3 years, we have finished in the top 3 positions 3 times in the last 3 years, last 4 years. So I think today, Leela, which we serve as a hospitality partner to the world, where almost 55 to 60% of all our guests are from international travelers who come and stay at the Leela hotels. So we have an opportunity of serving different nations and nationalities and serving them the best of India, whether it's through culture, through cuisine, through ceremonial rituals, through our art walks when we take them across our palace hotels, to ensuring that they experience the Leela fragrance, the Leela scent, the Leela brand of music. So when they go back to their own countries, they actually go back with an essence of India through Leela. So I think the feedback that we have received from all our guests, because when they even interact with all our staff, they give us this feedback that we get a true sense of India from even the costumes and outfits of our associates. All of it kind of puts the India story well in front.
Certainly. Anuraag, tell me, what is your take on the current hospitality landscape in India? What are the growth prospects?
I think today, if I talk only on the luxury side, I think India today has a lot of headroom to grow. With the changing demographics, with the brand image of India today is one of the finest, fastest growing economies with a very young population, and India has been in the news for all the right reasons. I think there's a lot of headroom for growth for luxury hotels to come up in India. Post-COVID, we have seen a change in behavior for the good. People are traveling more. They are traveling and staying better. They are looking and seeking experiences. There is more shift, mindfulness, mindful luxury, and embracing experiences, service style, and design, and better appreciation of what the best has to offer, and having the propensity to be spending for the same. So I think there's a great potential for luxury to grow and expand in India. And to a large extent, I think India today is still underserved in certain markets where we see a lot of headroom and a runway ahead.
So on that note, tell us, how has the Leela embraced the evolving trends in the hospitality industry, especially in terms of consumer preference and digitization?
So if I talk, Ritvika, in terms of the evolving trends, firstly, we launched, first we put a lot into embracing technology and a lot of capital into ensuring that all our hotels were technologically kind of serving the needs of our customers, that are diverse customers, as well as way ahead of the curve in terms of what lies ahead. It is no longer just beyond a seamless check-in or a checkout. It's also about technology at your fingertips, which you can use to get served better and ensure that you can communicate real time with the hotels 24/7, and also ensuring that our team delivers not just high technology, but also high touch. I mean, using technology to be more personalized, whether it is through Leela Palace services, whether it's through an e-butler program, whether through a much enhanced version of digital and website, whether it's ensuring that all our programs that we rolled out are available, because we do realize that the consumer preferences have changed, as you also correctly mentioned. The second thing is we want to speak in the new voice of our customers. We have seen a demographic shift happening post-COVID. We have seen the change of patterns. Today, our guests are extremely evolved, very well exposed, very well traveled. They know what they're seeking. They're seeking experiences. They're seeking authenticity. They're seeking credible delivery. They're seeking real-time information. They're seeking a contribution that they're making to a larger purpose. So we brought in those rituals. We brought in those opportunities where a guest could be a part of a bigger story. I mean, through Ojasya, which is a program which embraces well-being through nutrition, through Tishya, which is like using the play of senses, the fragrance, which we created for all our guests, through the palace services, through ensuring that the Leela Palace trail that we curated, which offers different experiences across 6 of our hotels in an itinerary and a destination-based program. All of this were changes that we brought into the organization to embrace both technology and using technology to deliver better and serve our customers better in this age.
Anuraag, I also read that you are now looking to expand your presence in the international market, notably in destinations like the Maldives and the Middle East. Could you elaborate on the key considerations you'll be prioritizing as you venture abroad, while also ensuring that you add positively to India's identity and image on the global platform?
I think I'll take the second part first. We definitely want to continue in our journey of adding to India's positive image and making sure that Leela remains as a true Indian luxury ambassador in terms of hospitality. So that's a very much clearly a part of a business plan and part of our business objectives and a strategy. And before I go in terms of what are our thoughts for our international expansion, we first, in India, I think there are a lot of opportunities that are available in India today, and we are actively seeking the right destinations which could be the right destinations for a Leela branded hotel. We really believe that experiential luxury, whether it is through wildlife or wellness, these are 2 segments that will really grow in India. And we also believe that there are certain cities which are literally making it to the top 10 in the country, where a Leela flag and a Leela brand presence would help our outreach to our Indian clients and customers, as well as become the best addresses in that particular location for also the international travelers. So as far as the business development and where our expansion plans are concerned, we still have a lot of some strategic ground to cover within India in the right locations and in the right markets, which are not just source markets for us, for our business, but also key destinations for both corporate and leisure travelers. So that's as a part of our India strategy. If we look at international, Leela has always been recognized as one of the finest brands in the country and globally. And I think there is an element of personalization about Leela which makes us distinct, that we are only into this particular niche space. As I always mention, that we are a branded house, and we have one brand, the Leela, which kind of resonates through all our hotels. So as far as the international expansion is also concerned, you mentioned certain destinations which are definitely of interest to us. But Leela today, as a part of an international organization, which is well supportive of our business development aspirations, we are very mindful of which are the locations that we want to be. I definitely believe a luxury destination in the Indian Ocean, which is a big part of our strategy. Then there could always be a potential hotel in the Middle East, and eventually we'll be in other countries as well. So we do have a plan for the same, and we are actively working towards these opportunities.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11 in conversation today with Anuraag Bhatnagar, CEO, Leela Palaces, Hotels and Resorts. Now coming back to India, your properties are located in diverse regions of India. Tell me, how do you leverage the distinct characteristics of each location to create memorable and region-specific guest experiences?
So I think we understand very clearly that, as you clearly said, they are located in diverse locations. If I talk about Udaipur, for example, we are right on the Lake Pichola. So there are a lot of experiences that we have specially crafted, whether it is the Spice Trail, whether it is a visit to the Kumbhalgarh Fort with the historian, is taking a wildlife tour to the leopard safari, Jalana, or doing something, an evening breakfast or a morning breakfast on the Pichola Lake, or a sunset dinner on the Sheesh Mahal. So we have created a lot of experiences which appeal to multiple generations. We have a cultural program every evening. It changes every evening to ensure that we bring the best of Rajasthan to all our guests in the evening. So the experiences are immersive and very well curated. And like all our associates are trained to ensure that they focus on, the last mile connectivity in this experience, and they're trained about the local culture, the local cuisine, where to go, where to shop, and ensure that whilst we are creating these immersive experiences, we also deliver the Leela service. Likewise in Jaipur, Jaipur, we have insider access with some of the best forts and monuments and palaces in the Pink City. We have insider access and especially exclusive access to the City Palace, where we could curate a special dinner, or on the veranda, or a high tea at the Jaigarh Fort. We also have tied up with the first family of Jaipur, and we do this annual polo event, the Leela Polo Cup that we do in the polo in the Pink City, which in itself has become like a milestone event where everyone wants to join in and participate, and we invite all our guests and partners across to participate in this majestic Polo Cup that we host every year in Jaipur. We are also partners with the Jaipur Literature Festival, which has also given us a standing with the, literati, in other words. So I think I'm just talking of two cities. Likewise, if you go to our hotels in Kerala, if you go to our newest launch in Ashtamudi, we have some amazing experiences that we have created, whether in the backwaters or on the beach, or during the mangroves, or a boat ride, or a fishing trip. Experiences that our guests can actually immerse themselves in. That's been a kind of a philosophy that's tying it together.
Anuraag, the concept of Atmanirbhar resonates strongly in India's narrative. How does the Leela embody this idea and support it within the hospitality sector?
So I think, firstly, I would say what we did during COVID, for firstly, our own employees, our vendors, our partners, and all levels of our associate gave us a lot of confidence that we can really be Atmanirbhar in every sense. Because during COVID, we used this opportunity to refurbish our hotels, open 3 new hotels, bring in technology, and ensure all the activities that sometimes can't be done in running busy hotels were done to make sure that all our guests, when the markets open, were exposed to a world-class experience. So we did all of that. And stretching beyond like that to Atmanirbhar, I think post-COVID, what we have seen is that, more and more guests are traveling more, they're traveling better. We have seen the length of stay increase. We have seen the propensity to experience and spend on that experience increase. We have seen more footfalls coming into our food and beverage venues and restaurants. So as a byproduct of that, we have seen commercially all our hotels are doing exceedingly well. We have been able to create value for all our stakeholders whilst giving very great experiences to all our guests and also growing our reputation through guest experiences.
Could you also elaborate on the Leela's collaboration with MSMEs and how this partnership contributes to India's socio-economic development?
So at various levels, most of our vendors represent MSMEs. So I think what it does is we have a centralized pool of vendors and partners, and then we have local pool of partners. And I think it's very, very important for us to ensure that the role that we play in our respective markets and the respective ecosystems. So I think overall, if I look at the geographical extent of our 12 hotels, we have both domestic as well as pan-India partnership and relationship with MSMEs who work as our partners and our vendors. And we are always encouraging them to work more qualitatively to ensure that they embrace best green practices and sustainable practices. We support them in terms of best practices, what they can take from us and learn from us in terms of health, safety, hygiene, packaging, ensuring that, there are so many aspects that we can learn and grow from each other, and especially grow the business locally. What we are also doing in terms of these MSMEs is we also work closely with them in terms of education of the vendors when they come and serve in our hotels. As far as our other, we have, our hotels have always been open and available for any kind of coaching, training, seminars, and always have accessibility to these MSMEs with whom we then work locally. There are some that we have partnered with in our DEI, diversity and inclusion programming. We ensure that the learnings that we have in Leela are also immersed and kind of shared with all our partners and MSMEs. That's been our approach to them. And I can see them, many of them have been with us for over a decade. And I can see, we can see with our growth, with our expansion, if I like to use the word, the way we have grown in the last few years, we can see them flourishing and adding on to the India story.
Anuraag, the Leela brand reflects a blend of tradition and innovation. Could you elaborate on how you strike this balance to cater to both contemporary and culturally inclined guests?
I think, yes, you're absolutely right. The Leela brand, is both tradition and modern. So if you look at the look and feel of all our hotels, they look like palaces. The finishing, the crystal, the chandeliers, the marble, granite, the millwork, the furniture, the paintings, the art, the fabric, everything reflects of India and traditions of India. And, like a walk through a Leela hotel is like an art walk. And we actually do that. Every evening, we have an art walk, and you can actually see every way that you go into a Leela property from a product standpoint. You will learn something about India, India's culture, India's ritual, India's history. Each of our hotels, that's a design direction. That's kind of a part of our narrative. And it is very, very critical as a part of our DNA that comes along with it. Even our newer hotels that we have opened recently, It's a part of our design story, this whole narrative, that we bring the best of India, the traditions of India into it. Every hotel will always have a menu selection and certain services that we provide, which are uncompromising in luxury, but at the same time are traditional and rooted in our history and traditions. So that's a part of being traditional. What we have done is to bring in, like you to your question, the best of modern technology, the best of science, the best of revenue management, digital, artificial intelligence, and off late data science to help our leaders across the level to take better decisions, to use technology, as I said earlier, to be able to serve better, and ensure that it becomes a big door opener and big leverage for both our guests and our associates.
So the theme for our show this season is Ideas for New India. Anuraag, tell us, what do you think is the big idea that has the potential to change the hospitality landscape?
Next big one idea to change the potential in the landscape. Right. I think, again, we need to make travel easier. And I think India has a huge middle class, upper middle class population, which is yearning to travel. I think travel is something that connects cultures, destinations, cities, people like nothing else. And India, there is so much to travel, so much to experience about. If there could be some kind of a tax concession or some kind of an incentive for people to travel, or there was something that could be really come out as a motivation for people to use their discretionary spends and hard-earned savings to travel, I think that would really make a big upsurge in the hospitality business. Because I think India today is growing a lot in tier 2, tier 3 cities, new destinations, to encourage people to travel there and regenerate the business or revive the business or really establish those destinations. It's important that those new destinations are also served. So if there could be some kind of incentive for travelers, that would be a big idea, I would say, that would really increase travel to India, within India. And internationally, I think there is so much of India which is still underreported and undermarketed. We definitely need eventually a new Incredible India campaign that can really put India rightfully on the map. There is so much for us to offer as a country. And that in itself, even a 20% increase in inbound will have such a major impact in terms of the hospitality business in India. So these are two ideas actually which I have, one for domestic and one for international.
Well, it was great chatting with you, Anuraag. Thank you for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you so much for the time and the opportunity.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.